The number one question I am asked every week is where can I go to learn to trick ride and how can I become a trick rider? If you want to know the answers to these questions, stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to try to give you the best possible insight on how you can become a trick rider. So, I was having a chat with James about how I could make this video to the best of my ability and informative as possible, and he came up with a great idea that we ask a couple of our friends from around the world how they got into trick riding to share their experiences with you. So, as it was his idea, I will share with you James's video first.
Hi guys, my name is James Denny and this is how I became a trick rider. I started my life as a professional high diver, and as I finished my diving career I was thinking of careers that I could go into after, and I knew of the stunt register from teaching adult diving. I taught a few people who went on to do the stunt register in Britain, and from there I learned about that, so I wanted to pursue that career. And one of the things you have to do is learn to ride. So I found a company in Britain where they taught me to trick ride and do stunt riding, and from there I met somebody who worked for the Hasta Luegos, and I was lucky enough to get an audition and passed and started working in the Appassionata, now known as Cavalluna, Aquila show for the last 3 years, and yeah, I'm here now working for Laurie Tisser, helping to prepare his horses for the next tour and trick riding also.
So, how do you find a good teacher? It's really simple. Ask us. Maybe you found a couple of trick riders online and you've seen some photos and videos on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Simply drop them a private message, simply saying something along the lines of, hey, I really like what you're doing, where can I learn to ride? And 9 times out of 10 they will reply and they'll say, hey, where are you from? Let me tell you about my friend, or maybe I can teach you, or so on and so forth. So don't be afraid to just drop us a message and ask one of us. I think one thing I should make clear is our lives is a little bit like Instagram versus reality, and in another episode I will do the pros and the cons of becoming a trick rider. But for now I think I just need to make clear that all the glamorous things that you see in the photos, from the horses to the lights to the costumes to the makeup, there is a heck of a lot of hard work behind the scenes that go into it. It's not as simple as turning up and being a superstar. There is so much that goes on behind the scenes, and I cannot stress this enough. For the 5 minutes that I've just mentioned of fame that we have on stage, the daily routine of horses is hard work without adding the actual physical and mental stress of trick riding. So be prepared for those long days, mucking out stalls, muddy fields. It's not all glitz and glamour. Be prepared to get your hands dirty and work hard for this. The harder you work, the more respect you will earn and the more it will pay off in the long run. So, but be prepared. It's not all stardom, glitz, glamour and fame.
Hi, my name is Giorgia Kolias and I'm from Hamburg in Germany. When I was younger I already used to do classical voltige, but back then I didn't even know that trick riding exists. But I remember that one day a friend of me sent me a picture of the trick riders in Appassionata and was like, look, this is something you would do or not? And I was like, oh my god, yes, that's exactly what I want to do, it looks amazing. So I started looking for people in Germany who do it and who could maybe teach me, which turned out to be quite difficult as there's not a lot of people who even do it. So I was quite frustrated, and it wasn't actually till years later when I was working as a dressage rider for the show Cavalluna that I met the Hasta Luego team, and I was basically begging on my knees for them to teach me trick riding and to be able to train with them. And I got so annoying that they gave me the chance to prove myself in one training that I was worth the pain teaching me, and I passed. So since then I was training with the Hasta Luegos, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me, and that's how I got into trick riding.
A huge misconception of trick riding is that you have to be Superman or Superwoman. You have to be crazy flexible and mega fit to succeed in this business. Now, both of those things do help you and you should work on those. But you don't have to be a crazy sized bodybuilder to be a good trick rider. The one more important, vital thing that any good trick rider will tell you is a good technique. Once you've got a good technique, everything naturally becomes easier. So yes, you need to be physically fit and in relatively good shape, but you don't have to be a crazy bodybuilder to succeed in this industry. Take a look at me.
Hi guys, I'm trick rider Sasa Improta. I'm 20 years old and I come from Italy. I started at 11 years old to do trick riding just for you. Then my uncle Bartolo Messina saw me to do trick with the pony and he thought that I can become a great artist. So at 12 years old he bought to me, for me, a really saddle of trick riding and I started to learn tricks by myself. And I started to do a show in all Europe and at 15 years old I take a flight to France for my first casting with Team Hasta Luego for the big show of Cavalluna. And there they say to me that I was really good, but I didn't have the technique. And there I learned all these small things that thanks to this now I can do what I want. So if you know the technique, after you can put your courage, your passion and your creative for do bigger things. And that is what I do.
The second most important piece of equipment is your saddle, the first one being your horse. There are many different saddles now in the industry and knowing which one to buy and what sort of price you need to pay can be complicated. The last thing we want you to do is go and buy a cheap saddle on eBay. This could potentially be very dangerous. So please, when you're going to buy your first trick riding saddle, ask a professional. That can be your mentor, your trick riding friend, it could even be a group on Facebook, but please do get advice because this is absolutely vital that you get the right saddle for you.
Hi, I'm Fairland Ferguson. I live in South Carolina and I started my trick riding career at Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede. I was fortunate enough to work in a show that had trick riding in it, and there was a trick rider there named Lori Cheney, and she is the one who got me started, taught me all the basics, the fundamentals of trick riding. Then from there, as my career continued, I just picked up tricks along the way from different trick riders. After leaving Dixie, I joined the international traveling show Cavalia, and that is where I finished out my trick riding career.
Okay. So guys, maybe by now you've got a few tricks underneath your belt and you want to make a demonstration video to show yourself off to the other teams and some bigger companies. Now the one mistake that I made when I first started was I forgot the flat work. A simple walk, trot, canter on both reins can go a long way to showing your future boss the basics of how you ride. And then afterwards, add all the tricks that you have inside and remember two things. They're looking for a good technique, will and determination, and a good show presence. Okay, that's three things. But these three things are vital, and it doesn't need to be perfect and it doesn't need to be super clean. Most companies are not looking for superstars and heroes. They're looking for people with good potential that are hardworking and are willing to learn. So if you can get these three things across in your video, that you're hardworking and that you've got good potential and you're willing to learn, most of these companies will definitely take the time to look at your video and maybe accept your offer.
Sorry, I forget. My name is Clement Ferron. I come from France and now I live in Brussels, in Belgium. The theme of this video is how to become a trick rider. For me it's very easy. It's like a lot of people, I think. When I was young, I would like to do a very big liberty with 6 or 7 unicorn and aquapony, but I quickly changed my mind when I discovered the trick riding in south of France in company Impulsion when I was 16 years. So now I have 28 years old and I never stopped to do trick riding. I do a lot of shows all over the world, in North America with Appassionata and Cavalia Odisseo, in Africa and in Europe with Cavalluna and Equila. So if I have some piece of advice to give you if you want to become a trick rider, it's of course a very good physical preparation and a very good relationship with you and your horses, because it's your partner and without the horse you are nothing. And the last thing, it's always to try to give your best of yourself, but you never think you are the best. I don't know if you understand, but it's very important. And that's all. It's a very, very wonderful job to do your dream, your life. That is very good.
Hopefully by now you've got a few tricks underneath your belt, you've created a demonstration video and you've written your resume and you're ready to send it off to potential employees. The question is, where do you find work? The first person to ask is obviously your teacher, and secondly your friends. Word of mouth is vital in this industry, so letting people know that you're available might just give you the opportunity that something pops up where a friend might turn around and say, oh yes, I know this person is looking for someone, and doors can open really fast, just as simple as that. Guys, there are so many opportunities in this world, and social media is now your best friend because it gives you every opportunity to do your homework and look for these companies. So these days you have theme parks that are hiring trick riders, you have live theatre shows, you have teams that are going to large country events and big exhibitions, you even have film work, so the opportunities are endless. And I even forgot to mention circus. The opportunities are endless, so don't be afraid to have a good dig around, look on YouTube, look on Facebook, ask your friends. The possibilities are there, it's just a case that you need to work hard and search for them. And don't be afraid to send your demonstration video and your resume in. If you don't get a reply back, send it a month later. Maybe the more times you just push and push and push without being too annoying, maybe the more times you push and push and push, they'll see your desire to work for them, and this will make you a little bit more interesting. So if you do get rejected or you don't get a reply the first time, try again. Don't be afraid. Determination, as I keep saying, is key. Yep. So guys, trying to fit all that information into a 10-minute video is super hard, and there was so much more I wanted to tell you, but I hope that gives you a good general idea of how to start in this industry. I want to say a big thank you to all my guests, to Clement Ferron, James, Georgie and Sasa for sharing their stories with us, and I'm just going to finish this video by summarising what I've already told you, which is very quickly: do your homework, social media is your friend, find a good teacher, and don't be afraid to seek professional advice when it comes to buying a saddle. You do need to be fit and active, but you don't need to be a superhero to be successful. Hard work and determination is your #1 key factor, and always remember to thank your horse. At the end of the day, we owe all of this to them. So that's all from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Ciao for now. Hi guys, I hope that answered most of your questions. If you liked this video, please do remember to give it a big thumbs up. And after creating this video, I decided that I will create a Facebook group, hopefully bringing most of us together, and that way it should be just a little tiny bit easier to hear other people's stories, find work opportunities and possible places to learn. So please do have a look for that in the link below. And if you like this channel and you want to hear more from me and my world of trick riding, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you next week.